All right, so this is the training for the 10K sprint. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to go through each of the steps for the setup so that you know that you're set up for success. And then I'm going to get into the very last thing, which is the drop formula, which is the bread and butter of the 10K sprint. So the 10K sprint is essentially a formula that we've used in my stores to get 250, $300,000 per month in revenue, and we're growing very quickly. And it's all done doing steps that you could do from zero. And if you do them and you do them properly, you just follow what I'm saying in this training and you really don't think about it too much harder than that. You just take action on this stuff. You can actually get from 0 to 10K pretty fast. And once you do that, all you have to do is rinse and repeat the same stuff. And we're basically using the same things that we did when we were doing 10K, 20, 30K a month. We're just doing more of it. And so that's really all you have to do is do this, and then you grow and you do more of the same thing. And that's how you get a successful brand. Of course, there's things that you can do later on to make your brand even bigger, but we're just going to talk about getting you to a very, very comfortable state of 10 to 20 or $30,000, and then you can grow from there. So the first thing that we're going to go over is the branded store. This is things as simple as just the color palette for your store, your logo, basic settings, things like that to get you started. To make sure that you're just set up for success with this, I'm going to change to red so you know what I'm actually writing. And then the second one is the marketing funnel. The marketing funnel is really just consistent of three things: just setting up your list, setting up some way for people to get onto your list, which is the opt-in and the opt-in offer, or bait is what I call it. And then the sales automations that go on in the back end after someone actually enters onto your list. And your list is basically just email and text, but the actual word for that for text is SMS. That's what the marketing back end is for that. It's just SMS. And the third thing would be distribution. This is basically just your content system, how you're making content for your brand, your influencer hub of, people who are going to promote your brand, and then the drop formula. So all of the things that are going into your product drops. The product drop is the most important thing for your 10K sprint. This is the bread and butter of the 10K sprint of any business, really, is new product offerings, bringing things to refresh your brand out into the market and all of that stuff. So let's move on to the first one, which is the branded store. So the branded store consists of the three things, which is the color palette, the logo, and the basic settings that we need to go through for Shopify. So the mood board is very important. You're going to want to make sure that you get together a list of maybe 10 brands that you like to emulate. We don't want to think too hard about this stuff. We want to just find brands that you like, take pieces from it that you want to emulate, and that's how you get your mood board. So you go to Pinterest, you go to Instagram, you go to TikTok, you go to all the places that have ways that you can gather inspiration, and you're going to gather that inspiration and put it on a Canva board. From there, we're going to create a color palette. There's a tool called Adobe Color where you can literally go and take your products and you can match your products to the colors on your website by dropping your product in there, and it'll pull out all of the colors that are represented in that image, and you can actually use that to edit your Shopify theme and create a color palette for designing and content and all of that stuff straight from there. And it makes it very simple for you to do that. The next thing that you're going to want to do is just choose a very simple Shopify theme. I always go with free themes, especially when I'm starting, but I've never used a paid theme, and I don't think it's really necessary. People try and sell you on them, but all that's really important with your theme is ease of use. Do not make your brand difficult to buy from. Just make it really easy. I am even a fan of just making your theme like just a one-page website with all of the products on that first page. Just whatever you drop on that first page, boom, people can go, you know, buy the product straight from the homepage. It really doesn't matter. Like, it's not that big of a thing. You just want to make it easy. Think of ease of use. Also, if you want to learn how to use the Shopify editor, I think everyone should be very proficient in the Shopify editor. Go and look up how to do that because it changes all the time. If I made a training on that, it would change in a few months and then I'd have to redo it. I don't have time for all that stuff. So just you could literally go on YouTube right now and find someone who will train you on that. The next thing would be the logo. Main thing for your logo is to just get something that looks good enough up. And the way that you do that is by using Kittl. You can literally just choose a template and apply your color palette that you just got from the previous step, and that's all you have to do. I've made very simple logos for all of the brands that I've ever launched, and they've all kind of like not looked necessarily the best or exactly what my vision wanted it to be, but I'll get there. It's all about getting there. I'm actually going to put that as a point, is that you will get there, but you're not going to get anywhere if you don't start. So you'll get there eventually. And that's the point, is that you want to not think too hard about it. Just go and get the stuff done. Then the basic settings, very simple. Just make a simple collection based homepage, like I said before, where it's just the products that you dropped on the homepage, and that's that people can just go shop right away. You're gonna want to edit the colors to fit your color palette. I always have a bad time spelling palette. Okay, that's right. And then change the typography. So that's the fonts that are going to be on your website. Make sure you change those. Then some of the store settings that you're going to want to change are like the shipping rates, HS codes. You can literally just ask the question like HS code for cotton t-shirt, something like that. And it'll give you a code that you have to put into the products, put code into products when you upload. And this is just for the customs. You want to make sure that when products are being sent in and out of the different countries that you have these HS codes in line so they don't get held up in customs, you don't get overcharged for them. And some countries are very, very strict on these nowadays. And so you have to make sure you have your HS codes sorted out. So that's pretty much it for the branded store. It's really not difficult. You want to take a very small amount of your time setting this up because this right here is going to change over time and get better over time. It's about starting. Just get started. Just get started. So let's move on to the next step. The next step is the marketing funnel. So the first thing you're going to start with is list setup. And your list is probably the most important thing in your business. And the reason why is because it's the only thing you actually own. It's the only data that you can collect and have for yourself. So it's your own data about your customers, your customers' emails, their names, their addresses, their phone numbers, ways to communicate with them that no one can take away from you. If your Instagram account gets banned for something, maybe you accidentally break the TOS for ads or something, that they're boosting a post or whatever, and they shadow ban you or something. You still have your list. You could always, I can't tell you how many times falling back on my lists has saved me from losing everything, really. So make sure that you have a list. You're building a list of emails, phone numbers, names, addresses, all of that stuff. All your customers should be backed up on a list of data. And to start that, you need to have something called a G Suite because you need to create a branded email. This is an email like support@yourwebsite.com. You want to have an email that has your domain at the end of it. You need this in order to actually send marketing messages now, because Google, Yahoo, and all of the other inbox providers will actually block you if you don't. So you need to have that. So set up your G Suite, look up how to set up a G Suite. Make sure that when you have your domain name, you can access the DNS settings and all that stuff to create your branded email. Very important. Now, with that branded email, you're going to go and get a Klaviyo account. You're going to create your account with that email, and then you're going to link it with your Shopify. And why you want to do that is because you're going to be able to track what people are doing and market depending on that. Marketing depending on their actions is the most important thing, because you can automatically sell someone on a product without you having to actually write an email and send it out. It'll automatically do it for you. This is where most of the recurring revenue in my business comes from. So that's a really, really important thing. Linking it with your Shopify account. And it's just an app. You just download the app on Shopify and then you log into your Klaviyo account. And that's it. So from there, you have your Klaviyo account and it's linked with your Shopify. So we're going to want to choose an offer that we offer someone to get onto our list. So I'm sure you've been on a website where you see a pop-up, right? And then you enter your email and then they give you a discount, right? Percent off or something like that. That's what this is. So we're going to offer them something, whether it's a discount, a percent off, dollar off, buy one get one, which is a good one, or even free plus shipping offers, which have been pretty good for me lately. And you're going to set this up, create a little pop up on your store right here, which means you're going to create a list, create a sign up form. You can look all of this stuff up on YouTube. It's not very difficult. Design it a little bit to match your store. And then you start getting leads in. This is the most important thing, is that you start that list. And then from there, now that you're starting to build your list, you have your pop-up that's on your site. You can start creating the sales automations. So creating a post opt-in flow, which is essentially where someone opts in and you give them the discount and then you remind them to use it. And maybe if they don't use it, you give them better stuff, right? So it's setting up a flow, an automation, something that automatically happens without you doing anything, where when someone opts in to this pop-up right here, they're going to be delivered the discount that they were promised. So you're going to deliver it in an email. And then you consistently remind them over the next couple of days, like, hey, you have this discount, whatever. And if they don't use that discount, you can offer them better stuff and upsell them and do all of that. This right here is a huge moneymaker for any business, as well as the checkout flow. So if someone checks out or starts to check out, right? Checkout started, and then, oh, I gotta move this. Someone started checkout, then you can offer them some sort of deal if they didn't finish their checkout. So they started checkout, but they bounced. Most people are actually gonna start a checkout and then bounce. Most people who start don't finish. So offering them a deal to sweeten it and then get them to convert. Just a very, very simple concept of, if someone makes an action, but they don't follow through with it, then give them either deals or incentives, or break down any type of objection or barrier to why they wouldn't buy your product to get them to buy it. And you can set these up to be automatic. They're called flows inside of Klaviyo. There's other important flows that you can create as well, like browse abandonment. When someone looks at a product on your site, but they don't do anything else, they just look at it, you can re-offer it to them and maybe even a discount or free shipping or something like that. You've also got post-purchase, which is when someone buys something, you can upsell them or cross-sell them or give them an even better deal than you normally would, because they already bought, so you already made money from them, and now you just want to get a little extra AOV, which is average order value. You want to get more value out of that customer. And then you can also do something like win back, which is, if someone doesn't buy in a while, you can have a time delay. If they haven't bought within, say, 60 days or 90 days, you can get them to come back and buy some more by showing them new products, giving them another deal, things like that. All of these things are just tools within your arsenal as a person who's marketing their brand that you can use as a funnel. And these all work automatically without you having to do anything. And setting up those flows are very important. This whole thing is incredibly important. It's part of the ecosystem of your brand. You want to think of your brand as an ecosystem. You have your front facing socials and all of your marketing, and then you have all the stuff in the back end that's also selling them, that people almost never talk about, but it's so very important. This stuff is half the business, really. We make $3 million a year. 1.5 million is made by this. So that's very, very important. Now let's move on to the last one, which is distribution. Distribution is the front facing that I was just talking about. The socials, the influencers, the getting new customers to come in and then be a part of your ecosystem. And so the first thing that you're going to want to do if you don't have your content system set up is you're going to want to research. The first thing is research. You want to find accounts to emulate. You want about 10 accounts that you want to find, that you like, that you want to take ideas from, and you want to emulate the stuff that they're doing. You can also use those 10 accounts for hashtags. You want to get at least 6 hashtags for either platform, TikTok or Instagram, whatever you're using. Some people use Pinterest. Really, the main ones are Instagram and TikTok right now. So 6 hashtags for those. And then you're going to also want to figure out which format you want to use. These are the hooks that people are using, the visuals, the themes, things like that. You want to figure out exactly what people are doing and why, kind of think about why they're doing it and what works with your brand and emulate those things. So research 10 accounts, get 6 hashtags from those accounts, and then get all of your formats and stuff. Oh, by the way, hashtags, you want to make sure that you are picking hashtags that are between 10K and 100K posts use. It's a really big tip that it took a little while to figure out for me. Oops. It took a little while to figure out for me. 10K to 100K posts on these hashtags. So find like smaller, not gigantic, like widely used hashtags, things between 10K and 100K. So for the next thing is that we're going to create stuff, right? You just did all the research and you're going to create a schedule that works for you to create that content now. So most people can get away with 1 reel a day, 5 story posts or so a day, and then, responding to comments and stuff. It's not that crazy. You don't have to do too much, right? If your content's good, people are going to like it. So make sure your content is good. Content is king right here. And then if you also follow what I say towards the bottom here and start using boosted posts and stuff like that, you don't have to worry too much about the algorithm, but we want like quality content coming out. This quality. And then from there, you're going to want to create a batching system where like maybe you do all of a month's worth of content in 1 day or 2 days, right? So you want to fit in 1 month into 1 to 2 days of work. You can even do like 1 day is an entire week. You just want to have something that you can get ahead of, and stay ahead of it. So that's important. Now from here, you're going to distribute that content. So you have your scheduling system. I use Later. I don't know if it's spelled later or later, something like that. But I use that to schedule. And then I also use ads and boosts and stuff like that. You don't have to be too crazy about it. You can start with like $5 to $10 a day on boosts and ads and stuff like that. The main thing with this is that you want to amplify already working content that you see people like and engage with and view a lot and all of that stuff. Something that's starting to get some traction. Why not put some ad dollars behind it? See what I'm saying? Amplify that a little bit because you already know it's resonating, so amplify it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Put $5, $10 a day into it, and then maybe you get very comfortable with it buying ads, and then now you've got something that you can scale just by putting money into it. We're trying to do this not by chance. See what I'm saying? Put the hard work in and all of that stuff, but you could also use money to your advantage. There's nothing wrong with leveraging your paycheck to put into something that's going to get you out of the 9 to 5. Or if you're just starting getting out of the 9 to 5, scaling to something that can be very, very profitable and literally change your life. So, we want to look at this with like a no excuses mindset, all or nothing mindset, all or nothing mindset. Everything that you can do to make this succeed, you're going to want to do it because, it's changed my life and it can change yours as well. So from here, we're going to do something called an influencer hub, which is really just a web of influencers that you have that promote your brand. So you've got a good team, 6, 8, 10, 12 influencers that you really like working with and that are growing and that have a good reciprocity with you that you can use to promote your brand. And this can always grow. You can always add more influencers, more brand ambassadors, all of that stuff. But we're going to use something called the partner method. This is how you get posts without having to pay for posts. And the way that we do this, I'm going to use this little bracket here. The way that we do this is, let me erase this. We collaborate and include. So these partners, these influencers are more than just someone that we pay for a sponsorship. They are people who work closely with us to create products that they like and that we like together. And that's how we get it to work out. Like they feel like they're part of the brand versus a brand coming to them and just asking them to promote some sort of product. They feel more invested. And then we're going to be dropping products with creators. This is part of the drop formula. I mean, we do product drops several times a month, and the way that we make that work is through the product drop formula. And that way we can get more and more of that hype going. This is all about hype and excitement. So now it's on to the drop formula, and this is the number one method that you're going to use to grow, scale, all the buzzwords that you could possibly imagine. It's just going to make you sales. Like this formula is everything for a direct to consumer business, a clothing brand, a plushie brand, anything that people are going to buy from a Shopify store. This is the way that you're going to do it. And it comes down to three things: hype, collect, and drop. The first thing is hype. You're going to do a pre-distribution of all of your products that you're going to be dropping to influencers for their UGC, which is user generated content. This is content that they can create for you that gives authority, trust, all of that stuff behind your brand so that people are going to get excited for it. Those influencers, followers are going to pre-see the product before it even is out. People are going to be asking about it. This gets conversation started. You want the hype to build. And so you're going to send all of your stuff that you get after you shoot. You're going to shoot all of your stuff that goes on the website, some of the stuff for your own content that you wanted to make. And then you're going to send it out, all of the manufacturer like mocks and stuff like that, to the influencers so that they can get their own content. And that's the main thing. You want to make sure that they're getting content for you. Then from there, when that content is distributed, I want to make sure that your website is set up to get subscribers on your list. And that's going to be email, name, oops, I messed that up. Name, SMS. Those are the main ones right there. You want these three things to be on that list so that you can use those to tell people when the drop is happening. So these are people who are obviously interested because they're opting in to your on your website because of the promotion of the new drop. And then the drop, you're going to want to make sure that you send emails and SMS while that drop is live. So whether you do pre-order or pre-stock or whatever, the whole time, every day, you're doing one email a day at least, and then you're doing one SMS a week. So say you have a 1 month bracket of a pre-launch, like a pre-order, or you have enough stock that's going to last you a month or whatever. This 1 month period, you're going to have 30 emails and 4 SMS. You can do certain things like segment. So like people who are opening your email more, you can set that inside of Klaviyo. People who are opening that email more, maybe you send 2. And maybe same thing with SMS. People who clicked emails or clicked SMS, you send 2 a week. And those are all things that I actually cover inside of my school group that make this whole drop system, this drop formula, work times 10. So inside of my school group, we go over these things not only when you ask, like if you ask a question about it, someone's going to answer, I'm going to answer, something like that's going to happen. But I have plenty of trainings, plenty of templates inside that talk about, okay, what is this right here mean? Like, how do I get to send more emails to people who open? Or how do I set up the win back flows? How do I set up the post purchase flows or the browse abandonment flows? How do I set up all of these things to a standard that I'm at? Like, we're doing $3 million a year, very, very quickly growing. How do we do the drop formula to a T? How do we do our email flows, our SMS flows to a T? How would I drop a new, Y2K style t-shirt? How would I drop a plushie? All of those things are in here. Like if you wanted to start a collectibles company, a supplement company, a fashion line, a t-shirt company, print on demand, any of that stuff, these things apply to it. And so when I realized that we were really onto something and I had more time, more employees under me, so I didn't have to be working as hard and as long in the business, now I can actually share the things that I've learned. And that's all inside of the group. The group is going to raise in price. So it's a limited time price. Whatever it's at right now, it's going to start going up so that I can keep it exclusive, right? This content in here is something that you're probably going to want to gatekeep. And so I'm going to respect that and consistently be increasing the price of this group so that not just anyone gets in. After a while, it's going to level out so that there's not so many people that it just gets saturated like a Tai Lopez course or something like that. So the limited time price is a thing. You might see it cheap now. This is a static video. I can't tell you what it's at right now, but it's going to continuously go up, whether it's $5 now or $25 now or $100 now. It's going to keep going up until it shelves off. I want to stop growing eventually so that it can stay exclusive. So get into the group. I really want to see how you implement this stuff here that's in this training, but I also want to just give you more and more and more so that you can learn, you can start getting creative with it. So I'll see you inside of the group. Very excited that I was able to actually start doing this now. I've always wanted to do something like this, but being a part of my current business, it took, years to get to where we're at now. And now that we're growing at a rapid pace and I have more people under me, I actually have time to do this. So I'll see you inside. Go ahead and join now.